a bit, but health officials have posted air quality alerts for parts of the Midwest. This is ABC News.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Rebel Eddies is your solution for auto detailing in Midwest Wisconsin. They specialize in top-tier services, including deep cleaning and detailing, paint corrections, ceramic coatings, wax oil undercoatings, window tinting, and more. And they take pride in delivering professional results every time. Rebel Eddies is family and veteran-owned and operated. Bookings are available as soon as 1 week. Call 920-671-8984 or visit rebeleddies.com. Rebel Eddies Detailing. Restore, protect, maintain.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Budget negotiations between Governor Tony Evers and top Republicans have hit a wall. Last night, the GOP leaders said talks had reached an impasse despite what they called good faith negotiations. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu and Budget Committee Co-Chair Senator Howard Markline said taxpayers simply cannot afford the governor's spending priorities. In response, Evers said he kept his end of the bargain, backing tax cuts for the middle class and retirees. But Republicans wouldn't budge on his calls for child care, education, and funding the UW system. Wisconsin has the largest budget surplus on record, according to an analysis from the nonpartisan Wisconsin Policy Forum. The Joint Finance Committee stripped hundreds of items from the governor's budget proposal last month, and it meets again today. There's one position open on the Green Bay Area Public School Board of Trustees. It was left vacant when Cooley resigned amid questions regarding his address. There are 16 applicants for that position. The applicants include former trustee Rick Crossan, who lost the election in April and did not...
Aaron Rodgers headed to Pittsburgh. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Aaron Rodgers has decided to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. ESPN reporting the 41-year-old quarterback will report to the team's mandatory minicamp next week. Rodgers was asked if he's kept in contact with head coach Mike Tomlin after he visited the Steelers facilities in person earlier this year.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I've talked to Mike Tomlin. Yeah, great dude. So it was nice to go into the city. I'd never really spent any time in Pittsburgh other than the few times we played there. But yeah, I've enjoyed talking to Mike.
So that sets up a showdown when the Packers travel to Pittsburgh on October 26th to play the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Baseball. The Brewers have the night off after beating the Reds yesterday 9-1. Milwaukee winning that series 2-1. Manager Pat Murphy.
Really proud of our club to respond the way it did. Really, really proud of it.
The Brewers now get ready to host the San Diego Padres tomorrow night with Sports on Mike Clemens.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, a high in the upper 70s, a couple of storms popping up. A mix of sun and clouds for the weekend, more storms possible. Highs both days within a few degrees of 70. Right now it's 78 degrees.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
We are not perfect here at Civic Media. Far be it. Certainly not perfect at this show. But one thing I can assure you of, our owner that I can see right through this glass right now, Sage Weil, has never once told me what to say and encourages us to speak the truth. And that's why, above all else, I'm proud to work for this company. And along with my colleagues, we will bring you what's really happening out there. And if we get it wrong along the way, we'll admit to that and correct ourselves as well.
Catch the Todd Albaugh Show at its new time, weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. The Maggie Dawn Show.
Lily Roberts, she is from the Center for American Progress Action Fund.
They're trying to pretend that this bill would be good for the working class because of this really small carve out to our tax laws. The no tax on tips piece does not at all even come close to addressing the problem of wages in this country. You know, a third of workers who work for tips in the first place don't make enough money to pay taxes at all.
The Maggie Dawn Show, weekday afternoons 4 until 6 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show.
It's Pride Month, and Northeast Wisconsin is blooming with opportunities to celebrate. Dana Johnson with Fox Valley Pride and Mel Davis of Rainbow Alliance Advocacy will be our guides.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who once planted evidence so he could make a citizen's arrest, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light. Happy Thursday, everybody. It is the Christmas Eve of weekdays as we head into the weekend. Kind of the last fun day. The week becomes fun on Thursday. Great to have you with me here at Night Light. A beautiful night here in downtown Green Bay. I am working on some gelato. Did you have gelato today, Conrad?
No, I already had some this week, so I was thinking I should be responsible.
Oh, look at you. One helping of gelato a week?
Well, you know, I just don't want to spend that. I just don't want to spend that cash.
You got that young, what do you call it, metabolism? You could probably wolf down some gelato every day.
I think I got metabolism of like a 70-year-old.
Yeah, you better slow down then.
I did have something funny today, though.
Really? Please tell.
So I know you're like, if it's a random number, would you respond?
Oh, if you get a phone call.
This was actually a text message.
Oh.
It said, "Hey, are you still coming tonight? I made hot dish." And I said, "Sorry, I think you got the wrong number." And she said, "Are you sure this isn't my nurse friend, Lisa?"
I don't know. What do you look like?
Is this her numper?
Oh,
she spelled it Nummper.
You dodged a bullet there.
And I said, "No, it's not." She said, "Oh, this is awkward.
You know,
I hope this doesn't ruin your beautiful day."
All great couples have a story about how they met. This could be, I see rom-com here.
I don't even know her name. I know her friend's name is Lisa, though.
There you go. That's something.
Her nurse friend, Lisa.
No, but you already have her phone number. You don't really need her name.
I already deleted the conversation.
I don't know, man. You could have gotten a little mileage out of that.
I felt bad, though, because she said, "This is so awkward. I hope I didn't ruin your beautiful day."
That's a bit much.
I was like, you just texted the wrong number.
You could just say sorry. Wrong. You know what I mean? Like
that made it seem like it was a fake person.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
But the hot dish thing was, I was like, who says hot dish and like is a fake person?
Hot dish is a real thing. I never heard that term until we moved to Wisconsin. What's for dinner? Hot dish. Well, that's kind of vague. Like what's in...
Isn't it just a bunch of random stuff?
It's like a casserole, I think. Yeah. It's like, it's like a pasty all cut up. Pasty. Pasty? Pasty.
Anyways, I'm going to her house tonight to eat some hot dish.
Good luck. You guys, I would register at Bed Bath & Beyond if it goes that far.
She had a 715 number. So what is that?
Ooh, that's Marinette. And it's also Wausau and Eau Claire. It's like the whole top part of the state, I think.
Well, looks like I'm going for a drive.
Yeah. See what happens. Keep us posted. I got to go back because that one girl still thinks my name is Tristan. And I have to, I never really put any closure on that conversation, but she kind of gave up on me. I had all these great ideas about how I was going to make this a fun radio thing. And I got bored myself. They never really give you much, you know? They're just trying to suck you in. They want your bank account number. Not your girl, though. She's the real deal.
She just wants hot dish.
Right. I see a first date for you and this number woman going to Happy Gilmore 2. I think that would be a really sweet first date.
Well, it's on Netflix.
Oh, well, okay. Then have her over and watch Netflix and chill. Whatever that means. You could ask Todd and Aaron Zaubers that.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right. Thursday night, Night Light, folks. We are going to light it up. Great to have you here tonight. Boy, big news, too. Tonight, Aaron Rodgers picked a team.
Yeah, it's
Steelers.
It's not going with a prophecy anymore.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Packers, Jets, and then Vikings.
Oh, he would have followed in...
Brett Favre's.
Did Favre play for the Jets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And he played for the... So, I think it's not going to go that well, to be honest. But
why?
I just think
he's old.
Well, I just think it's past the time of Aaron Rodgers. No.
I agree with you. However, I will say Mike Tomlin is a great coach. The Steelers are a phenomenal organization. Like, he's not stepping into New York. He's stepping into a completely different... He's got a good receiver. Pickens is still there, right?
No, Pickens is actually on the Cowboys now.
They did trade
They
him.
got DK Metcalf now, though.
Oh, my God. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
I'm not rooting against the guy or anything, but he's kind of a...
You know who I'm really rooting for this year? Justin Fields.
Where is he now?
He's on the Jets.
He's on the Jets. That's
Yep.
right.
I'm really rooting for him.
I like him. I hope he does well. I think he's a hard worker and a phenomenal athlete.
And the first game of the season for the Jets is against the Steelers.
Is that right?
Yep. And week 11, the Steelers play the Packers.
Justin Fields has a cannon, too.
Yeah, and he is that rushing upside. I think he's going to play well over there.
I hope he does. I don't know how accurate he is. People say, well, he's not accurate. Well, I don't know. I mean, I watched him when he was on the Bears, and he had some throws nobody else could make. And then he'd have some bad ones, but I feel with the right coach, maybe Fields could do something.
I think they gave up on him too fast, but...
Yeah, but what do? You have Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels.
No, I know.
You kind of have to go that route, right?
I would have went for Caleb Williams as well, but Justin Fields isn't just your average quarterback. I think he's going to be better than average this year.
Yeah, we'll see. Although he didn't do much in Pittsburgh, like I thought Tomlin would be able to do something with him.
He had a winning record. He was like 5-2 or something like that before he got benched
for Russell Wilson.
I mean, it's Russell Wilson, so kind of got to bench him for Russell Wilson.
I guess so. Lots going on tonight, folks. I've got a lot to get to here. We've got a great question. I just finished watching. I'm just going to give a quick thumbnail here. I did in my Hollywood Beats I do every day here at Civic Media. I recommended Osama bin Laden, American Manhunt, it's called, Osama bin Laden. And I talked a little bit about it either last night or the night before. Oh my God, does it get your blood pumping at the end? When they go in to get bin Laden and they're talking to the SEAL Commander and SEAL Team 6 and those guys. Did you know that SEAL Team 6, do you know why they're called SEAL Team 6?
No. Why?
It has nothing to do with a sequential, like there's SEAL Team 1 and 2, and then to throw other countries off, they just went with 6. So other places would be like, well, where's SEAL Team 3, 4, and 5? They don't exist.
Never know. You'll never know.
They don't exist. Exactly. You got to keep people guessing. That's brilliant. But everything that went into this was it's just a really well done documentary. And it just really, when they get to that compound and you realize what's so weird is like, and I kind of said this with warfare, these guys are so trained. They're like unbelievable soldiers with all these incredibly special skills. And they still prepared over and over and over and tried to anticipate any sort of, any place it could go off the rails. And watching how meticulous they were. And even with that, even though they're highly trained as soldiers, they prepared like crazy, stuff still could go wrong. It just makes you really appreciate everything. Like top to bottom, the planning from the White House to the CIA to the Navy SEALs and the military. I mean, it was really, really eye-opening. But also, it was eye-opening in the sense that, like, the CIA got thrown under the bus a couple times. Like, you always think everybody's on the same side, but parts of the government seem really territorial. And that did come out a little bit in this documentary. But really, really good. I finished it last night. I highly recommend American Manhunt. I thought all of them have been good. The OJ one was good. The Boston Bomber one was good. And this one was really good, too. So, big recommend. We're going to get a brief review from Conrad, too, right after we do our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Pregunta. Question. Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question. Questions.
What, folks, all right, first of all, it's a big day today. It's National Start Over Day. So what is something in your life you wish you could redo? If you could go back, what is something you would redo? It's National Start Over Day. It's a good one. You can have some fun with this. What is something in your life you wish you could redo? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. I think I kind of sold a couple movies and I just stopped doing stand-up. And I wish I would have kept doing stand-up. That's the only reason I stopped. It wasn't like I stopped because I wasn't getting work or anything. And I would have put like when I had some more, like when I had expendable income when I was younger before I had kids, I would have put more money away maybe. I don't know. What about you?
There was this time when I was still in high school. I was a senior.
Oh, wow. Going back to high school.
Nice. And I was down like 30 pounds or something like that. something around there. And I was biking at the end of the day, and I was going for like an hour and like 15. And one of my friends came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to play some basketball on the court quick?" And this guy is really competitive, and my legs are like limp still. And I go for a layup, and I land on his foot. And I like sprained it really bad.
You sprained your own foot?
Yeah. And that like put me in a complete dump for the rest of the like year. I feel like where
horrible.
I didn't work out. I just like I couldn't do much. So I'd say if I could go back, I would say, no, I don't want to play basketball with you. I'm just going to go home after this workout.
Take that ball and shove it.
I was doing really good then, and he ruined it.
That's funny because, I mean, you are only 25. You don't have a whole lot to look back on other than a casual sports injury. That's pretty good.
I wish I could have gone back and started golf earlier.
Yeah.
Then I could be in the PGA right now, you know?
Probably. Probably have some hardware at home.
Yeah.
I should have taken singing lessons at 14. Anyway, have some fun with it, folks. What do you wish you could redo? It could be something silly, something serious, whatever you guys think. Always more fun when you participate. Be sure and text us, and we will read it on the radio. You can also use the app to text us or the stream, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. And speaking of the app, ladies and gentlemen, did you know you need to have the app to play our Conrad? What is it?
Scotty Summer Contest.
Scotty Summer, baby. It is happening right now. It's another one of our Text to Win civic media contests, and it's a lot of fun. I cannot recommend it enough. All you need, folks, is the app, which you probably already have anyway. Listen for the keywords at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. 7 a.m.
Yes.
11 a.m. That is 2 p.m. and 4 p.m.
Yep.
Get the keyword, text it in, and you are eligible to win hourly prizes, which consist of $100 in your pocket, cash, non-taxable. I mean, unless you have a guilty conscience. You could probably pay taxes on that if you wanted to.
I mean, that's up to you, I guess.
Yeah, if you're a straight shooter, good citizen. Or Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. Those are our hourly prizes. And once you enter in the hourly portion of the contest, you are automatically entered to win 2 grand prizes and 2 trips. Where are they, Conrad?
Well, you got Baraboo, Wisconsin, and then you got Door County.
All great stuff. 2 of the most beautiful spots in our state. We are including gas money with that. All you have to do, folks, you really have no excuse. Just text in the keyword at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., or 4 p.m., and you're eligible to win the hourly and the grand prize. It's our Scotty Summer Text to Win civic media contest. Good luck, everybody. I really wish I could be part of that. Where would you go? I'd probably go to Baraboo because I've been to Door County so much. I haven't really been to Baraboo. I think I've been through Baraboo. That's it.
I have family that lives in Baraboo, so I've been there many times.
Yeah, you have. And Carla lives there, right?
Yeah, and my grandma. So I've been there many times, but it's beautiful. And Devil's Lake is great. If you can get out to Devil's Lake, that is beautiful out there.
It sounds scary.
Well, there's some tales there. Maybe Todd should go there and do a little test.
We must have covered that with Todd at some point, but maybe not. All right, we're going to read your text when we come back, and I'm going to tell you about something called runp.com, folks. You're not going to want to miss this. And Conrad's going to give a quick review of something he just saw. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're holding back. She said, "Child and destiny. This woman is my destiny." She said, "Ooh, child and destiny." A backless dress and some beat-up sneaks.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Matinee on Air.
Looking for food, fun, and live music this summer? Head to Area 509 in Appleton with Caribbean Taste. Every Friday, enjoy a food truck rally from 5 to 8 p.m. with live music from 5:30 to 7:30. Starting June 1st, don't miss the Triple S Market every Sunday, 1 to 5. Sip, shop, and sing with local vendors, open mic, and rotating food trucks. And mark your calendar for June 14th. It's Second Saturday Music with Luminati from 6 to 10 p.m. It's all happening at 1025 North Badger Avenue. Come join the fun.
Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley for over 30 years and are proud sponsors of Mino and the Mayor's Eye on the Community. Insight offers comprehensive eye care, including glasses and contact lenses. Their doctors have a special interest in treating chronic eye disease, specialty contact lenses, and pediatric care. Find Insight on Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam. Improving lives by improving sight. Insight Eye Care.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In discussions over the so-called Big Beautiful Bill backed by Donald Trump that's making its way through Congress, none other than Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson has emerged as the most prominent Republican critic of the bill, saying at a recent Milwaukee Press Club event that it is, quote, not even close to adequate. Johnson has said he wants spending cuts to go even further, including making cuts to Medicaid. But Johnson's position as a critic of this bill makes him especially influential in these negotiations. But let's not forget the last time he was in a similar position. In 2017, he was a critic of the Trump tax cut bill, but what he fought for was a tax break for certain types of businesses. Perhaps not coincidentally, businesses owned by his largest donors, Dick and Liz Uline. In 2018 alone, the Ulines received more than $200 million in tax breaks because of this bill. So as the Big Beautiful Bill is negotiated in the Senate, let's not forget this piece of recent history.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fight.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has
welcome back to Nightlight. This is Pete Schwaba. Fun show tonight. It's a popcorn pick of the week. Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. Actor and founder of Hooray for Hollywood, a really cool Facebook site, show, whatever you want to call it. Wayne New York will be here. Wayne is a great actor. He's got tons of credits. Our kids went to school together in L.A. It'll be good to connect with him. He's going to make the popcorn pick of the week. And then in the second hour, this is exciting because Bob Dennis is going to be here. Bob is a mob expert. He's coming into the studio, and we're going to talk about presidents and their connections to organized crime. And, you know, organized crime in this country was at a point where every president had to deal with the mafia one way or the other. So Bob and I will dig into that in the second hour at 7:20 tonight. So popcorn pick of the week, 6:35 coming up in about 10 minutes, and then Bob Dennison live in studio. I would be remiss if I did not mention a national treasure whose birthday it is today. He is 69 years old, giggity, and his name is Kenny G. And he here's something that happens. I hope you don't have the song, Conrad, because every time I hear this song, what's it called? What is Kenny G's famous song? I got to look this up quick, because if you play it, something's going to happen. It always happens to me when I... Oh, no. Hey, what happened? Where am I? What just happened? Conrad, what happened?
That is the beautiful song Songbird.
Songbird, yeah. Oh, don't play that, because Songbird, that has an effect on me. I don't even know what happens. It's like I forget exactly what happens, and I don't know if it's like something just comes over me. It's just like...
Pete, wake up.
God, what happened?
So you fall asleep every time?
It's just, it has one of those things. I used to use it like as an aphrodisiac when I was my girlfriend. You know, I put it on. She always accused me of falling asleep. That's the worst. That's like not even elevator music.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it's mellow, it's soothing, but there's real jazz folks that's like, you know.
I could hear that in an elevator.
Well,
I think I have heard it.
You probably
in an
have.
Elevator. Yeah.
You know what happened to me the last time I was on an elevator and I heard that? You're not going to believe this. I don't know how I happened to have that, an audio file of that on me, but that happened like in 1989.
You know, This actually, when you're on hold and you get that music,
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of stuff you hear.
I know. It's terrible.
And then you fall asleep to it.
But they don't care.
And then they're like, hello?
Yeah.
Hello, sir? And you're oh, sorry.
That's the music they play when they want you to give up. It's like, and they know you won't be upset. You'd rather talk to customer service than listen to Kenny G. So we've got that. It's National Start Over Day, folks. So name something in your life. Have some fun with this. What is something in your life you wish you could redo? I said I would probably have kept doing stand-up comedy, even though I started kind of segued into writing, which was great. But I sort of just kind of ignored my comedy career, and I wish I would have kept that going. I wish I would have put maybe a little more money away when I was young, because things appreciate. Like my son just did that a few weeks ago, and I thought that was very smart. I wish I had done that. Conrad, you said you...
I wish I didn't play basketball after biking for an hour and
Conrad
20 minutes.
says you wish he didn't play pickup basketball one day. That's the mistakes you make.
That led to an injury.
It led to a serious injury. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to belittle your your memory.
No, it's okay.
We've got the question went up on social media, and we've got Mike Desitel says, I wouldn't have given up on my marriage. Oh, you know what? I bet a lot of people would say that. A lot of divorced people.
Yeah.
And it's probably not like, I know Mike's in a very happy relationship now, and has nothing to do with that. It's like you kind of probably you always probably wonder if you gave it your all. That would be my guess. So it's probably more that than it is a particular person. Daniel on social media says, if I could go back, I'd start prioritizing my mental health much earlier. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. A reminder, it's never too late. That's a great one, Daniel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that. Sherry from Horicon says, good evening, Pete and Conrad. Good evening, Sherry. She says, there are too many to list. Sherry has a lot of regrets. That's okay. It's never too late to, start something new, though, too. If I wanted, I could start doing comedy again. Conrad could tell a guy to take a hike if he asks him to play hoops.
Funny thing is, I play basketball every day right now.
All right. Well, there you go. Susan from McFarland says, okay, guys, Aaron Rodgers needs to retire, and we need to retire talking about him. Look, I don't give Aaron Rodgers a thought all day, but I heard the golden pipes of Mike Clemens just giving us that update right before. I thought it was worth a mention, Susan. But Susan does not like Aaron Rodgers, apparently. Did you hear the Twitter controversy today?
About
Elon Musk and Trump?
Yes, I saw, and the tweet I saw after one of those was Donald has now asked him to meet him on the green.
On the green,
or at the ninth hole after 9 p.m. I think that's what it is in Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
When he goes out there.
Yeah. Well, I had friends who were all over Facebook today, like, oh, I knew Elon Musk was okay or something like that. I'm like, what? He sat on this. If what he's saying is true, why didn't he say it?
Yeah.
That's a serious thing. And I don't know if it is or not. They might just hate each other. But who cares? We don't get into that here, folks. We're talking entertainment. We're ending the day with a bang. It's the Christmas Eve of weekdays. And when we come back, my pal Wayne York will be here, a very talented actor. He will be here to make the popcorn pick of the week. Hour number 2, Bob Dennis swings by. We're going to talk about the connection between organized crime and many of our presidents. That's all tonight. Do you believe that, folks? On Nightlight. Text us. Be part of the fun. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And you know it don't come easy. And this love of mine keeps growing all the time. And you know it just ain't easy.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. 10 years ago, in 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a decision that legalized gay marriage. Now, some Wisconsin Democrats have introduced legislation to amend language in the state constitution to reflect that decision. In addition to further solidifying the legalization of gay marriage in the state, lawmakers have also introduced the Marriage and Family Equality Act. That legislation is meant to update the language in state laws surrounding same-sex marriage and parental rights, making them more gender neutral. The bills are currently being circulated for co-sponsorship in the state legislature. Wisconsin's first large-scale battery storage facility is now open in southeastern Wisconsin. Stuart J. Waddles has more.
We Energies says the Paris Solar Battery Park in Kenosha County is now fully operational. The site's new battery system stores enough electricity to power more than 130,000 homes for 4 hours. Solar panels at that site have been working since last December. We Energies is leading the project with partners involved, including Wisconsin Public Service and Madison Gas and Electric.
Zebra mussels and spiny water fleas, they're all invasive species. And Wisconsin's Department of Natural Resources is reminding anglers how they can help prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species and diseases during fishing season. A number of the state's waterways have seen the introduction of invasive species over the recent years. DNR officials are reminding anglers to drain all of the water from their bait buckets or fish containers at the site where they filled them, drain and clean their boats, and remove things like mud or plants from their gear before leaving. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Critics love The Pit, and so does George Clooney. The medical drama starring Noah Wiley, who also executive produces, is a hit for the streamer Max. Not that it needs help, as people are flocking to it, but it's never a bad thing when you get a celebrity endorsement from your pal George Clooney. Clooney and Wiley starred together on NBC's hit medical drama ER in the 90s. Clooney appeared on Late Night with Seth Meyers and heaped praise on his pal Wiley. Audiences seem to love it, so if you like medical dramas, check it out. If you like golf and comedy, there is a new show starring Owen Wilson you should probably check out. The episodic is called Stick and tells the story of Wilson, who plays a washed-up pro golfer who is given another chance by coaching a talented up-and-comer. Check out new episodes of Stick, which drop Tuesday nights on Apple TV. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This report sponsored by the City of Marinette, home of the Queen Marinette Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. More details at fishonmarinette.com.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, a high in the upper 70s, a couple of storms popping up. A mix of sun and clouds for the weekend, more storms possible. Highs both days within a few degrees of 70. Right now, it's 76.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Race.
Hey, Wayne, can you hear me?
Hey, I sure can. Is this Pete?
This is Conrad.
Hi, Conrad. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Fantastic. And if I have figured this out, then I'm even better.
Yeah, no, you sound good. And yeah, we'll be back on in about a minute, all right?
You got it. Of course. Thank you, Conrad.
Yep, thank you.
If you want strong communities, you need to have strong quality childcare accessibility in your community. You know, whether you have kiddos or not, it impacts you, whether directly or indirectly. And that's why, you know, being supportive of programs from the state level that can support local agencies is vitally, vitally important. So it's all intertwined.
This is not just for parents of small children.
This is mission critical.
The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show, Saturday and Sunday afternoons at 3 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app. Maggie Dawn.
At 5 o'clock, I'll be joined by Civic Media's political editor, Dan Schaefer, to discuss what the heck.
It's time for the Nightlight Popcorn Pick of the Week, where we recommend a movie that you'll either enjoy or won't. Here's your host, Pete Schwaba.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nightlight. Great to have you with me on this beautiful Thursday night, the Christmas Eve of weeknights, folks. This is a fun night here. We got some great guests, good questions, some good responses already. It's great to have you with me. And Conrad riding shotgun as usual. So it is the Popcorn Pick of the Week, and I'm very excited to welcome my next guest. He is the founder of Hooray for Hollywood. And tonight, he's making the Popcorn Pick of the Week. He happens to be a movie buff and a very talented actor. And he joins us now over the stream, Mr. Wayne York. Wayne, how are you?
Yay! Thank you so much, Pete. I am great, and it's so nice to be inside a room with a fan on that's quiet.
Oh, wow.
When you
So
have two dogs, two cats, kids, everything else, it's like
you
I
look
love
like
it.
you've got a very nice man cave set up there. Are you still in the same house when we knew you?
Still in the same house, and I am
Oh,
blessed
wow.
with an office. Thankfully, all the junk I kind of put over there that you can't see, and there's costumes on a rack over there that you can't see. So let's just pretend it looks just like this.
You look like a very meticulous person. Thank you for hiding your clutter, my friend.
I'll pay you later.
It's great. It's great to see you. Great to have you on the show, Wayne. And how are you?
Things are fantastic. Work is slow. I drifted kind of out of the acting world when things started to get slower, and I drifted into the locations world, doing locations for movies and TV shows. And then COVID came, and then the strike came, and now that is slow.
Wow.
So it's just kind of crazy, but it is what it is. So now I'm putting my focus on other things like Hooray for Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about all that. And
Sure.
it's a pendulum, it'll all come back and that kind of, you've been through it. This isn't your first rodeo. So, well, I really appreciate you doing this. So let's jump in first, Wayne, and talk about movies and snacks and how we like to watch movies and celebrate this amazing art form. How do you like to watch movies? Are you a theater guy, Wayne, or do you watch them at home in the comfort of your living room? What's your tactic?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Pete. I
Sure.
really love being part of this, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
My pleasure.
I think I used to be a movie theater guy, and then I started to have my recliner chair at home, and it's like this is pretty cool. And between us, as I've gotten older, I might need to sneak off to the restroom, and if the movie's too long, look out. But the other
They have
day,
restrooms in the theater, though, too, Wayne. There's restrooms in movie.
I can't pause it. I can't
Oh, that's true. Okay. Good point.
But I went to see Thunderbolts the other day with my daughter Rosie, and it was so comfortable. I don't think I'd ever been in a theater like that the seats recline, you can put your feet up. It's like, well, wait a minute. And the audience was quiet. People were watching. People weren't on their phone. It's like, maybe I'm changing back to theaters.
Wow, nice. Yeah, those seats are incredible, aren't they?
Oh my
Almost
gosh.
too comfortable.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it a second time because of the seats.
Yeah, it's just a nice place to go and sit, even if there's not a movie on. It's a wonderful little escape. So, all right. So you like to watch? You prefer at home?
I think so.
I'm sort of with you. I prefer the theater, but I just am able to watch so much more at home. I can go movie to movie sometimes if I want. So I like that too. What is your genre of choice, Wayne, when it comes to movie watching?
I like so many movies and they've changed so much, but I just can't get away from loving 1920s, 1930s silent movies and early sound movies. There's just something about them. I don't know if in a different life I lived there or what, but I'm just kind of, nobody in my family was like that. So when I would get up to the kids show up in Vancouver, Canada, and they would show Laurel and Hardy every morning at 7 a.m., the rest of my family's like, what are you doing? I'm going to go downstairs to our TV room and watch Laurel and Hardy. Why? But I can't help it. There's just something about that kind of genre, that kind of feel. I love.
That's great. That's a great answer. I've gotten more into film noirs lately, I went through a phase, and I haven't done it in about a month, but I'm going to go back to them. There's so much. That is like an escape. You're not really there, but that's a genre you can kind of almost insert yourself into. Or pretend. Sometimes I'll even reach over and grab a pencil and pretend I'm smoking a cigarette or something, or grab a glass of scotch or something. There's so much fun to watch.
Put your feet up on the desk and
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Use words like dame and gumshoe. Absolutely. So, all right. So, what is your favorite movie snack, Wayne? What do you go for when you're either at the theater or just at home?
Oh, if I'm at home and I'm not being good by watching what I'm eating, Maltesers, which are, I think they were in Canada, but you can find them at the occasional store down here. Maltesers are kind of like malt balls or Whoppers.
Like malted Whoppers. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't
These
know
are
those.
good.
I've never.
And oh yeah. Well, if you were closer, I'd open them up and share them.
Yeah, they
And
look
then-
delicious.
Oh, they're so good. And then this is like bourbon crunch popcorn.
Oh,
It's kind
wow.
of covered with like a caramel. There's a little chocolate inside. I mean, I'll enjoy the
That
movie
looks-
immensely, but I won't fit in my pants the next day.
How many of those bags do you need to eat to catch a buzz?
Oh my gosh. I think this would do it alone.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure,
That looks pretty thick.
but maybe two of these.
Oh, those are great. Great
Oh.
snacks, Wayne. I was unaware of Maltesers. I didn't even know what those were. Never heard
Worth
of
a
those.
search. Worth a
Yeah.
search.
Very good. Have you ever snuck a snack or a drink or a beverage into a movie at the movie theater or movie house, as it were?
Yeah. I know I have. Now it seems pretty much that you can bring anything in, and it's like a free for all. But I often bring a soda in, and wait for a loud explosion to crack it open, like a LaCroix or something like that.
Sure.
And yeah, if I could get a Maltesers or two in my pockets,
Oh, you're all set.
oh,
That's fantastic.
yes.
What is your let's do this. Have you ever cried during a movie, Wayne?
Oh my gosh. Oh, what was that movie? Yes, for sure. Ordinary People.
Oh,
cried.
wow, yeah.
And then the two friends I went with, we were all feeling the same way. And we went out in the lobby, didn't say anything. We all looked at each other after seeing Ordinary People at the theater and hugged each other.
Wow.
There was just something about it. And then what's that other movie? Piano. Oh, shoot.
The Pianist?
No, I don't think it was The Pianist. Darn it.
Piano, yeah. What was that? Was it Transformers, Wayne? Was it Transformers?
Maybe it was Transformers.
Because you had wasted 2 hours? You cried.
Yeah. But I remember after seeing that movie, and darn it, I wish I could think of the name. I will put it up.
Yeah.
I will send it to you when I think of it. But I remember, I don't want to get too crybaby, but I had to pull over on the drive home and cry because it was,
wow.
And I will definitely get that name to you. I'm sorry, I can't think of it now.
That's powerful. Holy smokes.
But it was
all
like,
right, let's pivot. Now you've shown that you're in touch with that side of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with crying. I've done it many times myself during a movie. What do you do when there's a couple young punks talking in a theater? Do you shush them? Do you stare them down? Do you tell the usher? What year is this? Do you ignore them? What's your approach?
Oh, that's a tough one. If I'm on my best behavior, I will kind of go, "Hey guys, could you please not talk during the movie, or could you stop texting because your phone is distracting?"
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess the best thing to do is either that or go to the usher or say, "Hey guys, I'll give you a bag of this if you just shut the hell up."
What would kids even know what that is, or would they think you're like an old guy if you offered them a Maltese or what's the matter, pal? You out of toffee, Faye? What is this? You know.
I think they would just think I'm an old timer offering them
maybe.
candy, and their mother told them not to take candy from a stranger, and I would be that guy.
You'd be that guy, yeah. Some old guy gave us candy, so we moved.
Yeah.
So what about cocktails, Wayne? As I remember correctly, we've shared a few drinks over the years. Do you have a favorite cocktail that you like to watch when you're or to drink when you're at home or sip?
Oh boy, if yes, Glenfiddich Scotch.
Oh,
Scotch
nice.
on the rocks.
Wow.
14-year Scotch on the rocks.
Jeez.
Put that recliner back. I won't go to the theater. I won't sneak that in. That's strictly at home. But it's just a little piece of heaven, and it shuts off all the I got to do this tomorrow. I got to do that. What's my to-do list? What's, all this stuff gone.
That's what I do, because if you're like me, I almost, when I'm at home, I almost start looking for things to do. Like, what can I do before I can sit down so I can really enjoy this? Well, I better lock the door. I'll turn those lights off over there. Oh, I forgot to pee. I got to do that. I should do these dishes so I can really, it's maddening. And so you're right. I memean, if you have a little, I haven't had a drink in over 2 years, but that was one of my favorite things to do, is watch like an old detective movie and sip a glass of like, Tullamore Dew or Glenfiddich or Glenlivet, any Glen, as they say.
Any Glen.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I know.
I think we're ready. Conrad, if you please. Wayne, are you ready to give your pick?
I am so ready to give my pick.
All right, fantastic. We are about to get the Nightlight Popcorn Pick of the Week from actor and founder of Hooray for Hollywood, my pal, Wayne York, who is joining us over the stream. He's about to give us his pick. Conrad, if you please. Wayne.
Harold and Maude.
Oh, wow. Nice pick.
Harold and Maude, 1971, Hal Ashby. For those who don't know, and I know you know, it's about a young man having a relationship with a much older woman. I used to relate to the young man character, Bud Cort, and now I'm relating more to Ruth Gordon's character, the 80-year-old. But that movie so speaks to me. And when Ruth Gordon's character is talking with him and she says, L-I-V-E, live.
Yeah, wow.
It
Great
just really
choice,
speaks to
Wayne.
me.
I have to give that a rewatch. I don't even know if I've ever seen that all the way through. I've seen like big chunks of it in a film class, and I've kind of always felt like I saw it, but I've never sat down and watched it all the way through. That's a great, and talk about a classic and a Hal Ashby film. Really well done.
And
That's
Cat
outstanding.
Stevens for the soundtrack. It's just dynamite.
Nice. Yeah. We got a texter or someone watching on the streams. Jim Denny says, Finger Red #1. I think is that for a Scotch reference? Just because of the finger. I'll have to go to the Google for that one. We're coming right back. Wayne York, actor extraordinaire and founder of Hooray for Hollywood, just gave us his popcorn pick of the week. It's Harold and Maude, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. We are coming right back, and we're going to do a deep dive on Wayne Thomas York here on Nightlight tonight on a Thursday. It's finally happened, folks. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Put it in the ground where the flowers grow. Gold and silver shine.
Local news, weather, and sports on air and streaming on the Civic Media app. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Escape to the hidden gem of the Midwest, Chula Vista Resort. Relax with modern comforts and breathtaking views. Thrill into water parks and swing into championship golf. Savor diverse dining options. Book your summer retreat now. Call 1-800-388-4782 or visit chulavistaresort.com.
Chula Vista Resort is one of the top 10 indoor water parks in the USA with 26 water slides over 1.5 miles long. Find out more at chulavistaresort.com.
Rebel Eddies is your solution for auto detailing in Midwest Wisconsin. They specialize in top-tier services, including deep cleaning and detailing, paint corrections, ceramic coatings, wax oil undercoatings, window tinting, and more. And they take pride in delivering professional results every time. Rebel Eddies is family and veteran-owned and operated. Bookings are available as soon as 1 week. Call 920-671-8984 or visit rebeleddies.com. Rebel Eddies Detailing. Restore, protect, maintain.
Hey, it's John Mino.
And Jim Schmidt from Mino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Mino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter.
Drop what you're doing because Appleton has a whole week of fun just for you. Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, brought to you by Area 509 in Appleton. And you can enjoy an entire week of live local musician performances thanks to the 13th annual Appleton Street Music Week. June 9th through 13th from noon till 1. These musicians are donating their time to raise money to help support and elevate the community. And if you want to be involved, go to WGBW.FM and click event.
Conrad, what just happened?
This time, I think
G again.
I think I fell asleep.
That
Sorry.
is the anti. That's like if the Viagra still lasts after 4 hours, don't call your doctor. Put on some Kenny G. That'll clear it right up, I think. Hey, we're back at Nightlight. Sorry, we got off on a tangent there. We're having some fun with Kenny G tonight. The only person ever to say they're having fun with Kenny G tonight. That's me, folks. Great to have you with me on this Thursday night. It is a popcorn pick of the week Thursday night. We just got the popcorn pick of the week. I will recap that. Bob Dennis will be here at 7:20 talking about the connection between U.S. presidents and the mafia. So that'll be fun, too. Right now we have some more time here with my pal, actor and founder of Hooray for Hollywood, Wayne York, who picked Harold and Maude as his popcorn pick of the week. That's a great pick, Wayne.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, just sit back, put your feet up, and have a soda.
You know, have a soda. There you go. What I want to refresh your memory. I don't know if you remember this. Our kids play. I loved hearing you mention your daughter Rosie, because your daughter and my daughter Kate, they were great friends and had so much fun together. And your wife was my daughter's kindergarten teacher for a half a year or so before we moved. And so please tell Rosie and Z and BB hello from all the Schwabas. But, you know, I don't know if you remember this. You and I both talked about The Sting one night and how much we love the movie The Sting. And you made a DVD copy for me, which I still have somewhere. This is before streaming. But another great classic that you and I both share some affection for is The Sting.
Definitely. That movie, and again, that music is so gorgeous. And it just takes you away. Some of those movies for me, like Harold and Maude or The Sting, just kind of take me away, and you're swept away, and you get to go on that journey. And I remember it well. And I so remember a strong image I have of your baby, Kate, was laying on one of your bookcases in the living room. I don't know if you remember, you had those white bookcases, and she would lay there. And I thought, that is so adorable. That's somebody who's just, at home here.
Just relaxing, chilling out on a bookcase. It's comfortable.
On a bookcase. Why not?
Yeah, she has back problems to this day, but it was fun for her back in the day. Yeah, it's Wayne. Tell us a little bit about, before we get into Hooray for Hollywood, which it's such a great follow. Where did your training come from? Tell us about how you found the acting profession.
Boy, in fourth grade, I think I was cast in. I think we all had to play something. I was cast in Robin Hood, and I was Friar Tuck, and even in fourth grade, I played middle-aged men, and I kind of liked it. It's like, oh, this is kind of fun. And
can we make him look younger? Even in fourth grade, he looks too old for. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, let's use some makeup. And so there, and then in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I was taking theater. And I remember so clearly somebody coming up to me, one of my fellow classmates coming up to me and saying, Wayne, you are so lucky that you know what you want to do. And I thought, well, doesn't everybody know what they want to do? And, that's just whatever, 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
It just kind of, there was no question. I never debated anything. So I went to theater school in Vancouver, Canada after that. And then, I've just been so blessed in that work came my way, and work came my way up in Vancouver. And then I thought in 1991, well, I have 2 passports. My dad's American, my mom's Canadian. I should go down to Los Angeles and just try it for a little bit, and for 6 months.
Wow.
And that was, 6 months. That was a little while ago.
That's not very long. You did not give yourself, I mean, I'm glad it worked out. You stayed, and I'm sure you have no regrets about that, because you got over 50 credits, and you were in Meet the Fockers and The West Wing and 2.5 Men. I mean, you've had a great career, but 6 months, that's not a lot of time.
It was not enough time, so I think I kept going 7, 8 months, 9 months. Only when the guy subletting my apartment in Vancouver said, Wayne, are you ever going to come back and pick up this shit? I'm sorry if I can't. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That was a quote. Are you going to pick up all your crap? And
did you?
And I eventually did, went up,
okay,
moved out, and never said that word again since that time.
That's okay, Wade. We forgive you. Well, that's pretty cool. So did you have formal training other than what you just described, or were you just kind of like, I'm just going for it?
I had the formal training. It was a 3-year program. I took it condensed into 2. And then I've taken classes since then. Carol Rosenfeld was a teacher from New York who came to Vancouver. I took her class a few times, and she was so kind. Talk about middle-aged me. She said, Wayne, do you own any jeans? And I said, no, I don't. Wow. And she goes, let's go out on Saturday morning and buy you some jeans. I thought, oh my God, I've remembered it all this time. How sweet is that woman to take me out shopping for jeans? But so I've taken acting classes, and I took some down here too, and also the groundlings.
Oh, nice.
I did some groundlings work, but yeah, just thankfully work.
That's fantastic. So how was Meet the Fockers?
Ben Stoller was so nice. Did I get the name right?
Stiller, yeah, Ben Stiller.
Stiller.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Yes, he was so nice, and I had done a movie with his wife at the time, and I think they're back together now, Christine Taylor. And when we were working together, I said, by the way, I worked with your wife on this movie, and he said, oh my God, Wayne, that's the only movie that we're not allowed to talk about at home. So.
So you're saying you're the reason they separated or got back together? No. I'm confused. All right. Wayne York is here. When we come back, we're going to talk about Hooray for Hollywood. I'm going to ask him about a show he was on called Winging It, where he did 51 episodes. We maybe get into the X-Files or Becker, Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know. You think about it, Wayne. We'll talk about all of it after the news. Intermission is coming up, and Act 2 starts then with Wayne Thomas York. It's Night Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The feud between President Trump and Elon Musk escalating fast. The president saying he's disappointed in Musk speaking out against his government funding bill, saying Elon is just upset that he took away his EV mandate. The world's richest man says without him, President Trump would have lost the election. ABC's John Santucci.
Elon Musk knows a lot. So to think that he's now on the outside and He has a war chest. He's got more money than anybody. This is something that's extremely concerning just to insiders within Donald Trump's orbit.
This hour, air defense activated in Kyiv. Russian drones entering the city, says the mayor. Russia has threatened massive retaliation after Ukraine's drone attack that took out dozens of military aircraft at air bases across Russia. Boulder, Colorado, firebombing suspect Mohammed Sullivan appearing in court via video today, where he's facing 118 counts, including 28 counts of attempted murder at a demonstration for Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. This is ABC News.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A 19-year-old De Pere woman who led Fond du Lac County officials on a high-speed chase that caused 2 vehicles to catch fire, damaged several others, and injured multiple people made her initial court appearance Wednesday. Caitlin G. Ray is charged with 25 felony and misdemeanor counts. Among the charges are 9 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety, 7 counts of felony bail jumping, 5 counts of OWI causing injury, operating while revoked, fleeing an officer, and a couple of drug charges thrown in for good measure. The judge set a cash bond of $500,000. Ray will return to court on July 18th. 25-year-old Jackson Vogel, an inmate at Green Bay Correctional Institution, was found guilty Wednesday of first-degree intentional homicide as a hate crime for the death of his cellmate. He was convicted of choking Micah Laureano to death on August 27th. Vogel told investigators that he killed Laureano because of his race and his sexual preference. Vogel was serving time for crimes in Waukesha and Columbia counties, in addition to a 20-year sentence for attempting to kill his mother in Two Rivers when he was 16. When he is sentenced for the murder of Laureano on June 27th, he faces mandatory life in prison. If you're hanging out in certain parts of downtown Neenah and would like to take your alcoholic beverage outside with you, you now can. Wednesday night, the Neenah City Council voted 6-3 to create a designated outdoor refreshment area, or DORA. The DORA will cover a portion of Main Street, West Wisconsin, and South Commercial Street from noon till 10 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.fm.
Aaron Rodgers to join the Steelers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports NFL. Aaron Rodgers has decided to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. ESPN reporting Rodgers will report to Pittsburgh when the Steelers hold their mandatory veteran minicamp next week. Rodgers says he's been in contact with head coach Mike Tomlin, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith.
And the quarterback coach is actually a guy named Tom Arth. Tom Arth was in the quarterback room with me in 2006 in Green Bay in the offseason. The first offseason I ever did went through the Mike McCarthy quarterback school. It was me and Tom Arth and Tom Clements.
In golf, the AmFam Championship underway at TPC Golf Course, just north of Madison, raising millions for charity.
That's the end game, right? I mean, that's why we're all doing this, to give back to not only the Children's Hospital here in town, but to all the other charities that we can impact and give money to. And, you know, it's just a great opportunity for us to be able to support those people and to give back.
That's Wisconsin golfer Steve Strickler with Sports on Mike Clemens.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, a high in the upper 70s, a couple of storms popping up. A mix of sun and clouds for the weekend, more storms possible. Highs both days within a few degrees of 70. Right now, it's 76.
Mino and the Mayor.
On Friday's show, we'll be joined by Mark Hewson from Amplify Health, and Leah Reed is in from Hyde Music to talk about Street Music Week in Appleton.
And we'll feature live music from All at Once in our Mino and the Mayor music series. Join us.
Mino and the Mayor.
We go to a place and you can we actually reserved it already, but they got the swan. You know what I mean?
I don't know. What is a swan? What do you mean?
Well, it's hard plastic.
Todd's got a smirk on his face. Here's a comment.
Okay, so I've seen paddle boats. Right? Are you talking about one that's actually built like a swan?
Yeah.
I want a picture of that. That'll be my Facebook page.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday mornings 6 till 9 on 97.9 WGBW and 98.3 and 96.5 WISS.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who likes to talk trash, but only when he's at the dump, Pete Schwaba.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we kick off Act 2 here tonight at Night Light, great to have you with me. Fun show tonight. We have a great question. If you want to get in on the conversation, folks, it is National Start Over Day. So, what is something in your life you wish you could redo? It's National Start Over Day. What do you wish you could redo? I said I would probably not stop doing stand-up comedy. I just kind of segued into writing and got lucky enough and sold some stuff and just kind of stopped doing it. I never made a conscious effort to quit. And I wish I would have put a little more money away. My kids are smarter about that than me. Did you know this, Conrad? You're a young buck. You put some money away at your age, and before you know it, you're worth $2 billion.
Really?
Yeah. It just takes a few years.
How much? Like $1?
No. You got to put at least $100 away. $100 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do that. Conrad said he would not play a game of pickup basketball that set him back physically a while because he had a very bad ankle sprain, which these are the kind of things you regret when you're 25, right? So I hope that's the biggest regret you have in your life, Conrad. But we've got some great answers. We'll read your texts in just a bit. We also talked and got the popcorn pick of the week during the first hour with my current guest, Wayne Thomas York. We will be back with Wayne in just a second. He picked Harold Mudd as his popcorn pick of the week. And we made some fun of, was it Kenny G? I seem to black out every time I hear Kenny G, and then I don't know what happens. So what's the deal with Kenny G? Oh.
Pete? Pete?
Oh, yeah. Hey. You know, that bit only works if people are listening and not watching on the stream. Because they still see me sitting here laughing and giggling.
What?
At my little
That means you got to play to the part now.
Gag.
Every time we do it, you got to
whack my head on the desk. Exactly. So that's our question of the night. That's our popcorn pick. Bob Dennis, folks, will be here in studio at 7:20. We're going to talk about the connection between U.S. presidents and the mafia. And there's more of a connection there than you would think, even maybe with some presidents you don't anticipate. But we'll do that at 7:20 with Bob. Right now, we have a few more minutes with my pal, actor Wayne York. He is here on the stream. He made the popcorn pick of the week, like I said, and he has a really cool... Is this a Facebook thing, Wayne? A site? Or I know you've done video for it. Tell us a little bit about what Hooray for Hollywood is and how people can find it.
Oh, you bet. And just so you know, I found that movie title that made me cry way back in 1993, The Piano.
Oh.
I think you might have said that. The Piano, 1993?
No, I said The Pianist, I think. But The Piano, Piano was like an Oscar-nominated film. I can't believe I couldn't think of that.
No, me too.
Okay.
Me too. Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter, yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for doing your research during your downtime, during intermission.
Of course. Of course.
So, so tell us all about Hooray for Hollywood.
Well, I started on TikTok first because work was slow in both the acting world and the location world. My friends were saying, Wayne, you have to be creative. You have to do something. And I thought, well, if we're going to be leaving Los Angeles in maybe 3-4 years or something like that, I thought maybe I should focus in on LA and study it more and kind of share some of the love that I have for it and have always had on TikTok. So I started a TikTok account and Instagram account. And then just not long ago, I thought, well, maybe I could put it on Facebook. So I started Facebook and I put it on YouTube. They're all the same.
Wow.
But I try and do a segment every 2 weeks celebrating Hollywood.
Very nice. So obviously I can see why you did this, but how do you pick your stories? Like, how do you find something that's worth spending that much time with?
I think I either go down my list, or when I'm driving around, I go, I love that building. I want to learn more about that. Or I think that's where, somebody was discovered or something like that. So I'm going to go home and see if I can find out more about that. And then I do. And then I start the pictures, and then I start the research. And it usually
Nice.
takes about 2 to 3 days to put one together. Longer than I thought. And then I'll get, some nice views and everything. People are fantastic. But then I'll see
Yeah.
somebody who has taken up one photograph of one hotel get thousands of hits. It's like, wait a minute. I wrote a script. I went and filmed something. Watch mine.
Like, made a little movie here, people.
What the?
That's hilarious. I can't figure that stuff out either, though. But I love that you do that, and I've really enjoyed some of your posts. So please keep it up. I think it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And I love those little nuggets of, like, last night we had a fellow host here from Civic Media on. He does a show here every day from 2 to 4. Todd Alba, the Todd Alba Show. It's more political. So when he comes on my show, he really gets into it and has fun. And he went to a spot in Madison, Wisconsin last night where Elvis got out of a limo and broke up a fight with two bullies picking on a younger kid. It was older, heavier set Elvis, but nonetheless, there's a plaque there and everything commemorating. So now that's
Great.
Madison, Wisconsin. In LA, you've got that kind of stuff everywhere. I mean, you're never going to run out of material there, Wayne.
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of everywhere, and I love it. I just, I say
Yeah.
to my wife, BB, look, I don't think we could leave in 3 years. I think we might need 4 or 5 because I've got work to do.
There's a lot to explore still. Wayne, do you mind if I take a quick call? And then I'd like to ask you the question of the night, if you don't mind. All right, Conrad, who do we have?
Ollie from the North Woods.
Ollie from the North Woods. Hello, Ollie. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. This will be a little less than Dwayne.
Okay. He's
After
listening.
what he just said. I wouldn't have spent so much time working, making sure that my family was secure and that they had a roof over their head when I passed away, because all the time that I spent working, I missed out on special memories and time with my grandchildren. And I would definitely do that over and change that.
Well, that's a great call, Ollie.
Great.
Thank you, and thank you for telling it to Wayne. Yeah, you got to find a balance, right, Wayne? You got to take care of people.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ollie. As always, have a great
Thank
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Do you have something, Wayne, that you wish you hadn't stopped doing or did more of, a redo, so to speak?
Oh boy, I heard when you said that, and I thought, what would it be?
Well, hopefully you don't have
Yeah.
anything.
Well, I let the kids grow up. So instead of keeping them where I could carry them on my shoulders and snuggle and cuddle and all that, they grew
I
up
know.
and, now 23 and 20, it's like, hey, listen, I want to tell you a story. Sorry, Dad. I just have to make a call.
Yeah, right. They're as they say on the show Modern Family that did a great episode. They're cats in the cradling you. So that's Wayne, you've had some you've had some great credits over your career, and you've got so many of them. I have to ask you though, I loved the show The X-Files for a while, and then I thought it sort of kind of meandered and it lost its way, in my opinion. But when it first came out, I loved it. You did an episode of The X-Files. What was that like, and what did you play?
I did. If I remember correctly, they were giving a nod to The Simpsons. It was like on a Sunday
nice.
night, I think. So every episode that they were going to air that night from whatever different shows, they had to somehow give a nod to The Simpsons. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was like a technical guy in a booth, and my name was Homer. And I said, "Really, my name's Homer?" They went, "Yeah, it's a nod to The Simpsons." But it was a really a good experience.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, if
Go ahead. Sorry, Wayne.
No. I was just going to say, I have to say that when I was blessed and got cast on the Black Stallion, the TV show, Mickey Rooney was in it. And
Oh my
when he
gosh.
found out that I liked old Hollywood, he would not let me go. So when it would be like, Wayne, we
Wow.
need you set for such and such, he'd be like, well, wait. And he would take my arm and kind of go, yeah. So then she said this, and I said, yeah, oh, I love it. But I gotta go. They're calling me to set. He was fabulous.
What a
Loved
great memory that is. That is fantastic.
May I
on the
share
stream,
another one with you?
Oh, absolutely. Please. No. Go ahead.
I was in Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is a huge Laurel and Hardy fan. I'm a Laurel and Hardy fan, and I just happen to have this on my computer. So this is Dick Van Dyke and I playing Laurel and Hardy.
What? Oh my gosh.
Heaven.
What a
Heaven.
great picture. When was that, Wayne? Like what year was that?
1996.
That's a fine year.
He
and
could
Dick
not
Van
have
Dyke
been
was
nicer.
a young buck then. He's like 100 now. So you probably thought you were pushing it then. Like I better get this picture. He's getting up there. Nope, he's still going. And it's pretty amazing.
I know.
That's
In fact,
so great.
I sent him this picture a couple years ago.
What a great. That's fantastic.
Anyway, I just had to share those.
I appreciate that. That's hooray for Hollywood and hooray for Wayne. That's outstanding. On the stream, Jim says Harold and Maude was an excellent choice. Fun picture show. I could not agree more, Jim. So Wayne, you were on all these shows. We just have about a minute or two left. What was your best experience? You were on like Drake and Josh. You were on the show called Winging It. You know, Conrad's 25. What Disney show did you do? I know you had kind of a run where you did some of the kids shows or played a teacher or something like that.
Yeah, I played a teacher in Winging It, but that was shot up in Toronto, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if it aired down here, but I think my most fun kids show was Hannah Montana, and working with.
Miley Cyrus.
Thank you so much.
How fun! Oh, wow. She turned into a huge That's really impressive. I mean, because some of those Disney kids, they have a good run, and you hope they put the money away. But she's went above and beyond. She's amazing.
And she doesn't call me anymore. She doesn't.
What?
No lunches. Nothing.
Oh God! Don't put up with that, Wayne. You want me? I'll make a few phone calls. Conrad, take a memo. Let's get on that and
Sounds
let's see
good.
what we can
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
All right.
I'll get her phone number and give her a call.
Wayne, this
Thank
was
you,
so
Conrad.
much fun. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate your time tonight. Say hi to the family, and let's actually do a catch-up one of these days. It would be great to talk
I
to you
would love
off
that.
the air. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Peter.
buddy.
It's just a pleasure.
Likewise. Keep up the great work. All right. That's
Thank
Wayne
you,
York. Check out Hooray for Hollywood on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. Wayne's a great follow and a great guy. So there you go. Conrad, we've got, that was a great call from Ali. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
PJ says, he's watching on the stream. He says, I'd go back and redo the 90s. I need to make a few changes.
Yeah,
but
me
then
too.
He doesn't elaborate.
Me too.
You weren't even born. Get out of here.
I was born in the 90s.
Were you really? 99?
6 months.
You had 6 months of the 90s.
Yep.
So your redo would be you'd live more of the 90s. I thought the 90s were good. Dave on the stream says, I learned how to golf when I was 3. This is going back to our conversation earlier. He says, my grandpa was the club champion at Little River Country Club.
Awesome.
Very nice, Dave. He says, I wish I would have focused on golf. I think a lot of people realize that and they get their kids into golf earlier, right? Because it is one of those games you could. Dave, was your grandpa Judge Smales?
Who is
you know what
that?
I'm talking? Oh, Caddyshack? Come on.
Oh,
we got to get
wow.
Bob Dennis in here. I make a
Wow.
Caddyshack joke. All right.
Yeah, wow.
Todd from De Pere is having a laugh at Wayne. He says that was a quote, as if that will make it okay. Funniest part of the story. Thank you, Todd from De Pere. We'll read the rest of your text when we come back. Bob Dennis coming up next for some mob talk. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Like we're forever every time we get together, but whatever, let's get lost on Mars. You want me, I want you, baby, my sugar boo. I'm levitating, the Milky Way.
Of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment.
Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be non-stop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Located on the Menominee River, you'll be seated up close so you can witness all of the high adrenaline drama. The races are free and perfect for the entire family. Racing will be fierce with up to 100 powerboats and 18 heats a day. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the entire day. It's Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. Free for the whole family. You won't want to miss this awesome event. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page or contact the Marinette Welcome Center at 715-732-4333.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Coming out from Sly and the Family Stone, recording a live concert from 1967 that was recently discovered, and they'll be releasing it, which is kind of cool. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. Welcome back, folks. There's a little showbiz nugget for you as we before we get into our next segment here. Our question of the night, you still got time, is what would you redo about your life? It's National Start Over Day. What would you redo? Have some fun with it. And we haven't heard from Steady yet, have we, Conrad?
No, it's not an early text from Steady tonight. It's going to be a late one, I think.
No pressure, Steadfast Edward. Sydney from Oregon says, I've been too forgiving. I should have been more intentional about seeking revenge on my enemies. Do it, Sydney. Go get them. And please give us a full report. All right, folks, I'm excited. This is a big night because Bob Dennis is back in the studio. We always have fun when Bob is here. We talk typically, I would say, about mob stuff, but a little, some urban stuff, some mob stuff. We've had some great talks, and Bob is always fun to have here. And I love that you come into the studio, too. I appreciate that. I know you just said you live like 3 miles away, but that's still an effort to get off the couch.
Depends on where we park the van.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Where did you park? Did you find street parking?
Well, right out here. It was amazing.
Oh,
I actually parallel parked.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people can't do that.
No, a lot of people.
I can't do a lot, but I can parallel park.
Yeah. I used to be great at it. I had a job when I was in college in Chicago where I had to parallel park like an 18-foot van. And I could do it. I got really good at it. And then I tried to do it right here outside the studio. It took me like 5 minutes. People were watching like, he's not going to do this. Like, and I've got a little Honda. Like, it's not even, it was embarrassing. Do you have a regret, Bob, or something you'd like to redo? You've had a good life. I can't imagine you have too many.
I have no regrets.
None?
None.
Wow.
I
don't believe you, but okay.
Well, if I didn't do things the way I did, I wouldn't be who I am today.
You wouldn't be sitting here right now.
With Pete Schwaba.
One minor derivation or deviancy on your path.
A lot of deviance in my background, but go ahead.
Well, maybe you should have started with the redo with there. But no, like, it's amazing. Like I always say, I wouldn't do anything differently about my life that didn't result in my kids. And the rest I can live with. I'm fine with it. But
I really don't have, this is, my parents were Depression era children and World War II, greatest generation.
Yeah.
And they had a philosophy of we don't look back. We're not going to worry about tomorrow. We're going to do today, right now. And that's kind of where
Good way to be.
Yeah,
Very zen.
Well, they would have not really gone with that because the whole World War II thing was going on. But anyways, no, I mean, I just I like living in the moment. I like living today. If I screw up or do something wrong, we'll do it better next time.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy. All right. Bob, you have, God, I don't even know where to start. You sent me a list of presidents because I wanted to talk to you initially about urban legends because every time I have you on, I'm like, all right, let's talk some urban legends. And we get sidetracked with mob stuff because I love mob stuff too. So I did think it was interesting, the real estate listing you sent me with Capone's home for sale. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
It was a home that, well, they think he lived there, but it had secret exits out to the lake, out to the barn.
Was this in Milwaukee?
Yeah, it was outside of Milwaukee. Yeah,
I have never heard of him living or having a place. I knew about up north, and down like Kettle Moraine or somewhere out in Waukesha, but I never heard that before that he was in Milwaukee.
He had many, many, many houses because he never stayed in the same place 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
because he was afraid of being assassinated.
It's like Conrad.
Is he going to put his clothes back on?
God, it got really quiet in here all of a sudden.
It's kind of weird.
Was the nudity?
I don't want to look that way. I'm just, that's what I wish I could change.
Okay. He doesn't change clothes. He just changes houses. All right. So, but why? Yeah, that's interesting, though. He would go right to another big city and hide in plain sight, maybe?
Yep. Just, and this actually kind of ties it in a way. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected in 1932. And Al Capone, his career was coming to an end because of tax evasion in 1932. Right. On December the 8th of 1941, the day after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, they went and got Al Capone's 1928 Cadillac, a black Cadillac, to use to transport President Franklin Roosevelt to the Congress so he could make that famous speech where he says, we have nothing to fear but fear itself.
Right.
Because it was bulletproof. And they didn't have a bulletproof vehicle to put the president in.
Oh, my gosh.
So that was like the first official limousine for a president.
That's like Al Capone doing a solid for FDR.
Yeah. And they say that, and they don't know if it's true or not, but they say, I hope Al approves of this or something. It's like, well, okay. I think he's sitting in jail.
Wait, was Al Capone still alive then?
Sure. He died in 1948 or 49, I believe. Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. So you sent this. It was the historic lakefront mansion called Capone Home with secret rooms listed for $4.49 million. Now, it is right on the lake. It's going to cost a pretty penny in a beautiful area of Milwaukee, but $4.5 million are people, is that the kind of thing people would buy just so they can say they have a Capone house or they're enamored with secret rooms or something?
I think if you're going to pay $4.49 million, you probably have a couple extra bucks in your wallet.
Probably.
Okay, so you're probably going to go with it's a beautiful house. It's a gorgeous house.
I watched the video earlier. It's I'm not going to make a move on it personally because I broadcast out of Green Bay every night, but it looks like
we just finished our we just paid off our mortgage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And years ago, you used to have mortgage burning events where you'd go someplace and you would take your mortgage that was paid off, and you'd like go to my father-in-law went to a restaurant and he held up the mortgage and they got them a stainless steel bowl and told everybody, we're going to burn the mortgage. And everybody was like, yay, and they burned it. But nowadays,
really?
I said that in the bank. My wife and I did. We said that in the bank, and they're like, what?
It's just like aberrant behavior.
Like, okay, well, we're old people and
we like to burn things.
Pyromaniacs.
All right, Bob Dennis is here, folks. Bob, tell people about your podcast. Where can they hear it?
Well, it's on the Swellcast network. And for Urban Legends and Stranger Truths, if you just type that into your Google or URL, it'll pop right up.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about, let's start with Truman. You say he was the most mobbed up president. We'll do that after the news. We're coming right back. Bob Dennis is here. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
If we could fly away on wings.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The feud between President Trump and Elon Musk escalating fast. The president saying he's disappointed in Musk speaking out against his government funding bill, saying Elon is just upset that he took away his EV mandate. The world's richest man says without him, President Trump would have lost the election. ABC's John Santucci.
Elon Musk knows a lot. So to think that he's now on the outside and he has a war chest, he's got more money than anybody, this is something that's extremely concerning just to insiders within Donald Trump's orbit.
This hour, air defense activated in Kyiv. Russian drones entering the city, says the mayor. Russia has threatened massive retaliation after Ukraine's drone attack that took out dozens of military aircraft at air bases across Russia. Boulder, Colorado, firebombing suspect Mohammed Sullivan appearing in court via video today, where he's facing 118 counts, including 28 counts of attempted murder at a demonstration for Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. This is ABC News.
Aaron Rodgers to join the Steelers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports NFL. Aaron Rodgers has decided to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. ESPN reporting Rodgers will report to Pittsburgh when the Steelers hold their mandatory veteran minicamp next week. Rodgers says he's been in contact with head coach Mike Tomlin, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith.
And the quarterback coach is actually a guy named Tom Arth. Tom Arth was in the quarterback room with me in 2006 in Green Bay in the offseason. The first offseason I ever did went through the Mike McCarthy quarterback school. It was me and Tom Arth and Tom Clements.
In golf, the AmFam Championship underway at TPC Golf Course, just north of Madison, raising millions for charity.
That's the end game, right? I mean, that's why we're all doing this, to give back to not only the Children's Hospital here in town, but to all the other charities that we can impact and give money to. And, you know, it's just a great opportunity for us to be able to support those people and to give back.
That's Wisconsin golfer Steve Strickler with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The hunt for Osama bin Laden is a ratings jackpot for Netflix, but not to be outdone is the hunt for Michael J. Fox's guitar from Back to the Future. The film is about to celebrate its 40th anniversary in just a few weeks on July 3rd. As you may remember, Michael J. Fox's character, Marty McFly, famously played Johnny B. Good at the Enchantment Under the Sea high school dance. Fox rocked the crowd with a red Gibson, which was never seen again. The team of guitar-searching showbiz mercenaries includes Fox, co-star Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, who played Doc, and rock star Huey Lewis. They all appear on camera in a new documentary called Lost to the Future. You too can be part of this manhunt, as they are making an appeal to the public to help in the search. Anyone with leads on the guitar's whereabouts can call 1-888-345-1955 or send a message to www.losttothefuture.com. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, a high in the upper 70s, a couple of storms popping up. A mix of sun and clouds for the weekend, more storms possible. Highs both days within a few degrees of 70. Currently at 75 degrees.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
State Senator Kelda Royce.
The vast majority of people on Medicaid are already working, and it is Medicaid that makes it possible for them to work. People who are disabled or have chronic illnesses and without that health care, they would be out of the workforce. They would have no ability to participate in the economy, and now they can. Medicaid is one of the greatest workforce programs this country has ever built, and they are trying to dismantle it, and with it, they're going to take people's lives and economic security.
The Todd Albaugh Show, weekdays 2 to 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Matt and Air on Air.
Congressman Mark Pocan is here. Are you planning on going out on the road again, having a couple more town halls?
Yes. Eau Claire. Derek and I have been invited by Opportunity Wisconsin, so I'm really looking forward to debating Derek. My guess is it's more likely I will sprout a head full of hair than he will show up. This is important to let people know what's in this bill, because there is a very good reason why Republicans are hiding from town halls.
Catch Matt and Air on Air at its new time, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, we'll be joined by Planned Parenthood advocates of Wisconsin. Also,
At that time, I was talking through one of my own snores. That's a talent I have. Welcome back to Nightlight. That was the musical stylings of Kenny G. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. Great to have you with me on this Thursday. PJ on the stream says, of course, presidents were associated with the mob, but they refused to say what they did with Jimmy Hoffa to this day. Boy, I mean, some of the mysteries, Bob Dennis is my guest. Check out his podcast. You Google Bob Dennis and then go to Urban Legends. And
You could just go directly to Urban Legends.
Okay.
Skip the whole Bob Dennis part. That part's not important.
It's important that you're here, though, so thank you. I would love to know who killed Kennedy and what the heck happened to Jimmy Hoffa. I have an idea what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. He's part of a freeway, or for a while it was an end zone or something like that, but basically, then they know he was abducted from that. Was it like the Red Lion restaurant or something outside Detroit?
Yep.
So they killed him. I know that. But Kennedy, like all of that, like you just said during the break, Robert Kennedy, the anniversary of his death is tomorrow.
57 years ago. Yep.
57 years ago. What do you think? It just seems so convoluted. Like we were just talking about this 2 days ago, and they said, Oswald was killed by Jack Ruby. I'm like, when does that ever happen? Of course that was a cover-up. I'm not a conspiracy guy, Bob, but I mean, and then somebody killed Ruby. Like, is that there's just do-gooder citizens that want to make things right? No. Something's going on there. What do you think happened to Kennedy before we get into all this? Speaking of, we can start with Kennedy and the mob too, because I know.
Well, and their affiliation goes back, many, many years. There are people that say that the old man, Joe Kennedy, was involved with the mafia, the mob and the mafia, where he was doing booze. But he actually, there's no real evidence of that. However, he did do something where he cornered the market on Scotch whiskey, and through his company called Somerset Importers, and he made 50 cents on every bottle of booze that came to the United States. In 1934, it was $900,000. In today's dollars, it would be $21,518,523.
Oh, my God. I'd love to corner the market on something. I've never even come close to doing that.
Yeah, I'm not even,
So let's say, all right, so he obviously, you say there's no direct link, and maybe there's not. I don't know. I mean, but if you're bootlegging or if you're in that industry in that time, you're dealing with the mob, right?
Sure.
I'm not saying he was killing people, but you're making deals to move the product or whatever, that kind of. And everybody used to say this, living in Chicago, it's like, well, Daley dealt with the mob. Well, the Chicago mob in the very early, and we've talked about this, they had a piece of everything. You had to talk to them. You had to negotiate. Was it the same thing with Kennedy?
Well, sure. I mean, through the whole era, and they all had to move things somehow. And they all knew each other. But the thing is, and you got to give credit to Joe Kennedy, who was a horrible human being. He really was. He never got caught.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate of smart. I mean, there.
Right.
But yeah, it's true in New York today as well as Chicago. I mean, there's a piece of it that goes to the mafia, no matter what.
Still?
To this day.
No
Trump
kidding.
actually had an interview a while back that I saw. And he talked about, yes, I dealt with him because he said that, it's New York.
Construction.
And they say, well, how would you do it? And he said, well, I would make a contract, and I would have that contract overrun by about, 20%. And that was the skim you gave to the mob.
Wow.
I mean, he just flat out admitted it. It was like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
So let's get back to Kennedy, though, in terms of him. I think it'll come out. Like, you have so much, you've got all these presidents going back to Eisenhower, or FDR, I should say, that had to deal with the mob in some capacity or another. But who do you think was the mob? They were powerful, but do you think taking out Kennedy, was that like one or two people from every organization, CIA, mob, FBI, whatever it was? It couldn't have been too wide, right? Or somebody would have talked.
If there's a podcast by Rob Reiner. And he talks about this, and he talks about the Kennedy assassination and how his theory, and he backs it up with whatever information he has, talks about how it's a combination of the military, the CIA, the FBI, and the mob, and that all of it is coordinated with not top level, but like second and third level people.
Okay.
And that they all were given an assignment to do something, but they didn't all know that each other was doing the same thing at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And that they all came together because
plausible deniability.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. So nobody, supposedly knew which one actually did the job.
So I have a lot of lawyers in my family, and they're always talking about evidence. And my dad is really thorough, and he's like, "Look, the Warren Commission put out this report," and I hear what he's saying, but the report also could have said they don't have any evidence that it's anybody else, so they settle on single gunman. I mean, what's your take on that?
I'm sorry, but the Warren Commission is a fantasy. It's a fiction. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who just recently died, he was the last Secret Service member. He talked about how he was the one who dropped the bullet on the gurney in Kennedy's gurney when he was wheeled into the hospital, because he had found that bullet and didn't know what to do with it, put it in his pocket when they had taken his body into the hospital, was in the hospital at the time, and thought, geez, I better get rid of this thing, and then drop it on the gurney. So,
what would that do exactly?
Just get rid of it for him.
Get rid of it for him, but the bullet is next to Kennedy's body then?
Yeah, so somebody else would find it.
Okay.
So that bullet, that supposedly the magic bullet that killed everybody, was just a fallacy. I met John Conley, who was in the car with. I met him when I was a news reporter.
He got messed up too.
Yes.
He got shot two or three times. Right?
He got the bullet hit him in the wrist.
Oh, that's
and in the hip, and I think there was something else. But he was running for president in 1980, and I was a news reporter. And he was talking in his John Connolly voice, and I had asked him about how he had spent all this money and how he only had one delegate to the convention, and all of his rich friends are going to be disappointed. And did that bother him? And he looked at me with these brown eyes of death, and I thought, oh boy, I've done it now. And then he stopped and said, "Well, I was born in a little log house with no water," and it was like, okay. And as we left, he walked over, and he was a big man. He was a tall man. And I'm short, I'm like 5'6". So he's like a foot taller than I am. And he comes over to me and he says, "You want to see it, don't you, boy?"
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, this is kind of creepy, but sure, okay. I mean, there's a lot of people around. This is okay. It's safe. And so he rolls up his sleeve and he shows me the scar from where the bullet hit his arm and shattered his wrist.
Oh, man.
So there was like a piece of history right there. It was like, oh, my God. It was just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, if you had to give a theory about who killed Kennedy, who would you say is behind it, just based on what you know?
I don't like conspiracies. I'm not big on them, but at the same time, I say to myself, it's pretty tough to knock off a guy so thoroughly and completely. And they talk about the movement, how his body lurches forward, and then there's people that say, well, he had on his support because he had a bad back.
Right.
So that would have shot him and pushed him back and then brought him forward. But then the doctors, if you see the 12 doctors who were involved in the emergency room that were all involved, they all said that it was a frontal wound. And they all signed off on it. There's actually a documentary that was released about that after the last of the doctors died. And each of them in this documentary says, yes, it was a frontal wound.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, they were there. They know.
Yeah. So he grabbed his throat.
Right.
And then you're saying there was a wound in addition to that from the front?
Well, no. The first shot, they think, was at his throat because it went in right by his esophagus. And then the second one was the one that came and took out the greater portion of the back of his head.
Okay. So there's just two. Okay, I gotcha. So the first one was, okay. Wow. All right. So you're not giving us an actual suspect here, Bob, and I don't expect you to make a citizen's arrest.
I think that the Rob Reiner thing is a pretty good supposition. I think that there were multiple people involved. I couldn't say who they were, but
right.
And Jack Ruby actually died in prison.
That's right.
From cancer.
You're right. Yeah.
So
yeah, a heck of a guy. All right, so let's talk about Truman. You say Truman. My guest, by the way, is Bob Dennis. He is I call you a mob authority. Are you comfortable with that title?
I'm good with that, yeah.
And you do a mean John Connolly. I've never met the man. I can only imagine it's spot on, though. Yeah, I could even do that impression now. So you have Truman, you say, was the most mobbed up of any president.
Yes, and yet the least affected by it. Isn't that amazing?
How do you explain that?
Well, all right. It started out in 1924. The guy named Tom Pendergast and the Pendergast Syndicate, which was in Kansas City, came to Truman and said, "We want you to run for judge." And they got him elected judge in 1924. And then they helped him to get elected to the Senate in 1923. They supported him with votes and with money, and they continued to just promote his career until Pendergast actually ended up going to prison for tax evasion. But he continued from prison to manipulate money to be supporting Truman. And to help him get elected and then reelected in 1940, they gave him what was called a Stafford automobile, which was at the time considered to be like a second-level Cadillac. It was pretty amazing. He also had a very close relationship with Johnny Azia, who was the Cosa Nostra family in
Kansas
Missouri.
City?
Yeah, Kansas
Okay.
City, and in the area, like big time. Let's see. He once let one of the members of the mafia steal $10,000 from the General Revenue Fund of the government so that the rest of the mafia wouldn't take $1.5 million.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? I mean,
Yeah.
it was a guy like, yeah, I'm going to take this. Okay. He himself said he never took anything personally, that he didn't have more than $150 in his wallet, which I tend to believe because he lived with his mother-in-law his entire life in a house that she owned.
Wow.
So anyways, let's see what else.
But when you say mobbed up, like he wasn't doing anything illegal necessarily.
He
Truman.
himself was not, but
Yeah.
all the way through his entire career,
He had those contacts.
they guided him. They and he was one of the presidents who, and all of them do this. They kind of just say, yeah, we can't really prove anything, and they look the other way.
Right.
Because there is so much control and so much power. It's like a secondary government in a lot of ways that they just let it go. It's like, I can't really handle that.
Wow.
He also pardoned members of the syndicate and the machine. He paroled Midwest Mafia members who were convicted of extortion, who were of the unions and the show business unions. He opened an alliance to the, quote, hardened criminals with gambling of every kind of vice and imaginable. Let's see. But he got by because he was compassionate and he was honest. And I had it written down here somewhere. There is a phrase, which I can't find right now, but it talks about how somebody who, if they're a politician, even if they do some kind of cruddy things,
Yeah.
if they're really honest about it, how people just kind of go, yeah, okay, it's politics.
Appreciate his honesty.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. At least he's being honest.
Shallow graves in his backyard, but he admits it.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Just don't dig in the backyard.
Jeez. And I always like Truman because, like you said, supposedly, here's the two stories I remember about Truman, that he played, they were playing cards with Churchill on the train, and Churchill got up, went to the bathroom or something, and Truman said, this guy just saved the free world. Nobody beats him at poker, or something to that effect, like let Churchill win.
Yeah.
And then apparently he and Bess used to really go at it because they always were changing mattresses.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
I'm not expecting. I'm not asking for an eyewitness here, Bob. I'm just.
Well, there was a thing with the.
Truman's never invited you over with the.
Well,
Okay. So also, let's do Eisenhower, because Eisenhower fascinates me for the reasons you said during the break, because he's kind of considered like he didn't do anything, but that's not really the case.
Everybody considered him to be a do-nothing president.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be further from the truth. Eisenhower didn't want to ruin his image. He loved being known as the grandfatherly person, and yet he had his hands on the control of everything in Washington, D.C., and instructed people on what they needed to do. From the time that he was elected in 1953 until he ended his time in 1961, he had committees and commissions that were studying things, examining things, and going after people. 1957, they actually had, first they had S.S. Kefauver back in the early 1950s.
Let's pick up right there, Bob. We'll come back. We're talking about Eisenhower and his connections and how much he actually did contrary to his image. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. We'll have a few more minutes with Bob Dennis coming up next on the Civic Media Radio Network.
When you feel blue, I'm waiting just for you.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Rebel Eddies is your solution for auto detailing in Midwest Wisconsin. They specialize in top-tier services including deep cleaning and detailing, paint corrections, ceramic coatings, wax oil undercoatings, window tinting, and more. And they take pride in delivering professional results every time. Rebel Eddies is family and veteran-owned and operated. Bookings are available as soon as 1 week. Call 920-671-8984 or visit rebeleddies.com. Rebel Eddies Detailing. Restore, protect, maintain.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In discussions over the so-called Big Beautiful Bill backed by Donald Trump that's making its way through Congress, none other than Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson has emerged as the most prominent Republican critic of the bill, saying at a recent Milwaukee Press Club event that it is, quote, not even close to adequate. Johnson has said he wants spending cuts to go even further, including making cuts to Medicaid. But Johnson's position as a critic of this bill makes him especially influential in these negotiations. But let's not forget the last time he was in a similar position. In 2017, he was a critic of the Trump tax cut bill, but what he fought for was a tax break for certain types of businesses, perhaps not coincidentally, businesses owned by his largest donors, Dick and Liz Uline. In 2018 alone, the Ulines received more than $200 million in tax breaks because of this bill. So as the Big Beautiful Bill is negotiated in the Senate, let's not forget this piece of recent history.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area.
It's June Dairy Month, and though more than 5 million people call Wisconsin home, we share our state with close to 1.5 million cows. Those beautiful animals. Okay, I grew up on a dairy farm outside of Green Bay. They've been here since before we became a state. Can you answer this? Most of our cow's milk currently makes which product? Is it butter, cheese, or ice cream? The answer coming up. Wisconsin's first official milk plant. 1894 in the Waupun area of Fond du Lac County. Fast forward more than 120 years, now farmer-owned with a second location in the Outagamie County village of Black Creek. The Saputo plant is even featured on History Channel's Modern Marvels for its award-winning cheese making. So did you guess? Most of our cow's milk, 90% of it currently makes cheese. Gouda for you. Celebrating our dairy farmers with this slice of Wisconsin. I'm Terry Barr for the Civic Media.
Welcome back, folks. This is Pete Schwaba, and you've got Nightlight for a few more minutes here on a Thursday. Bob Dennis is here. Our question tonight was, what is something in your life you wish you could redo? It's National Start Over Day, and we've got a couple texts here to finish off here. Steady Eddie says, Pete, to paraphrase Old Blue Eyes, that's Frank Sinatra for your listeners younger than 85, regrets I've had a few, but here is one that we'll mention. In high school, there was this girl who I was in love with. But I know, I hope he keeps this PG. In love with, but I was just too afraid and shy. I let my chance go by, the chance that she might have loved me too. I saw Kenny Bruce Gorlick, Kenny G, in person. That might be his real name. Con, can you Google?
I will, yes.
Kenny G in person 30 plus years ago, my girlfriend's idea, of course. And about 10 years ago, I shook the hand of Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand the correlation there. He says, regrets, I've had a few, but through it all, I stood tall and I did it my way. Is he saying he regrets shaking Aaron Rodgers' hand and seeing Kenny G? Is he equating the two?
I think so.
Steady Eddie.
It is Kenneth Bruce Gorlick.
Okay. Well done, Steady Eddie. I still have questions, though. 608 says, this is Rachel from Milwaukee. I wish I would have continued to learn cursive after they stopped teaching it in school. I have so many cards from family members and have no idea what they're saying. That's great, Rachel. Thank you very much. Tomorrow night, folks, on the show, we've got a great show. Mike Clemens will be here, Civic Media Sports Authority at 6:35. My pal Mark Unger, an actor, will be here to talk about the last shot of The Sopranos. He went on a rant on Facebook, and I can't wait to talk to him about it. And then filling in for Terry Barr on Bar Band Friday night will be Rocker. That's all tomorrow night. We've got a few more minutes here with our pal Bob Dennis. We're talking about presidents and their connections to the mafia. So Eisenhower, we were on. Should we move on, or did
sure,
we
if you want?
Yeah,
I mean,
so he did a lot. Was Eisenhower like? I feel like Clinton was president at a great time. The .com boom was that kind of how it was for Eisenhower? Like they were building all these interstates and GI housing and all that kind of stuff.
Well, okay, they built the interstates because Eisenhower wanted to have a way to move military rockets throughout the United States. He had a mandatory height of 13 feet 9 inches on a bridge, so that the trucks could go through with the truck-mounted rockets.
Like with a rocket. Wow,
yeah,
no kidding.
And he realized that by having the interstate system that he'd be able to move troops quickly, which was then, only like maybe 60 years later, realized and adopted by China, which is, if you go to China, if you look at it, their interstate system is almost exactly identical to America's. It's built exactly the same way.
Wow.
I hope they get stuck in roundabouts. I'm sorry.
I almost got hit today by roundabouts are supposed to prevent accidents, but it's also like, oh, didn't see it. Like there's no, it's not, it's a little harder to get bad drivers out of roundabouts.
A few years ago, they had the roundabout convention here in Green Bay. This is true.
They had a convention for roundabouts.
This city had more roundabouts.
How many nerds were at that convention?
Well, besides myself.
I knew you were going to say that,
but they had the convention here, and because they have more roundabouts here per capita than almost any other city in the country.
Really?
My only fear was they'd have a parade.
See, that I would love to see. It'd be like the scene in Vacation.
Circles and circles, yeah, just going around.
So all right, we got a few more minutes here, Bob. I don't know if I want to do LBJ or Nixon.
Let's do Nixon.
Let's do Nixon, but real quick, before we get to Nixon, the reason I was interested in LBJ, as you said, did he cooperate with the Pearl Street Mafia to kill Kennedy? That is one of the theories I've heard. I don't know how outlandish it is or what, but come on.
That's one of the more outlandish ones. Yes.
I just
that's
can't
one of the
believe
ones that they talk about, and I've read about that quite a bit, and I don't believe that he was involved in that.
I don't either.
He had such an inferiority complex about the Kennedys that it was easy to feed into that.
Right. Great point. Okay, so let's finish with Nixon.
Okay.
His gambling debts. I didn't know this. Please tell us about Nixon's gambling debts.
Nixon loved to gamble, and during World War II, it was a known fact. He was like a supply officer in charge of the supply dump, the depots, and the people would come and they would gamble with him, and he was very good at it. And when he went through his political career, when he went into Congress and then went into the Senate and then became vice president, he could travel a lot, and he would go to Cuba because it was open. It was run by Fulgencio Batista at the time. And they had everything. They had the casinos, which he loved, and he went there. Well, he was $50,000 down at the time, and he didn't know what he was going to do. So his good friend, Bibi Rebozo, was actually...
Great name.
Actually backed him up and gave him 50 grand. Said, yeah, don't worry about it. And Bibi was the guy who was connected to all the mafia all over. He's the guy that made the arrangements in Cuba and bailed him out. So anyways,
Jeez. What was his game? What was Nixon's? Did he have a card game of choice, or was he a slots guy?
No. He did cards.
So.
Everything he did was cards.
Yeah.
It was like, poker and 21 and anything like that. But the gaming kind of thing, the games, no.
Okay.
His big thing was he loved poker.
That makes sense. That I think it's easier to get addicted to a game like that rather than just playing penny slots.
All right, so that $50,000, which was in 1955, in today's dollars is $591,021. That's a
walking around money,
pocket of change. So, anyways, he took money from everybody. Like I had said earlier, he took two distributions of $500,000 from Jimmy Hoffa so that he could get out of prison. And then Tony Provenzano, mafia guy, on behalf of the unions, gave Nixon $500,000 to stop Hoffa from doing any union activities, from prohibiting him from doing anything in the future. And then not too long after that, Jimmy disappeared.
He might have disappeared with 500 G's in his pocket. Is that what you're saying?
No, that would have gone to Nixon.
That would have gone to Nixon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jimmy would have been,
Ouch. He got the money first, though, before.
Yeah, no checks.
But Nixon didn't have anything to do with.
Right. Murray Chotiner, the guy who was his campaign manager, handled all the cash.
Okay. So how do you know all this stuff?
I read
Google?
a lot. I Google, I read. But you got to dig deep. You got to really be willing to make the commitment. Wait until someday we get together and we talk about the Bush family.
Oh, yeah, we didn't hit the Bushes or the Clintons here in the mob. All right, part 2, right?
Next
time. We'll make it a mini-series. All right.
We got one text right on the board. Yeah.
Who is that? Where
Tony
is
the
this?
trucker said, Pete, roundabouts are the stupidest things invented.
He's a trucker, too. An 18-wheeler in a roundabout.
Yeah.
Tony, I think you're exempt. I don't know, man. Thank you for that. Thanks for getting in under the wire, Tony. Thank you, Bob, for being here.
Thank
Always
you for
fun.
having me in.
The lovely and talented Bob Dennis, the lovely and talented Wayne York, the lovely and talented Conrad.
Put your clothes on.
Put your pants on, Conrad.
All right, I guess I will.
That glass goes down too far. Thank you to all my guests, all your texts. Always fun here at Nightlight. We'll be back tomorrow night to do it all over again. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, good night, Wisconsin.